This episode's full of surprises, isn't it?
It's coming at you hard and fast.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, regret that one too, in an episode where we've talked heavily of peepees. Hey guys, and welcome to GTLive, where today we're getting locked grayscale style. I don't know, it's the Greylock Tapes. We're concluding our coverage, at least for now, on the Greylock Tapes. Right? That's probably about right.
Yeah, that's what's happening here
Before
today.
we get into like the hour-long uploads, I feel like this is a safe conclusion spot.
Yes.
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 So when last we were tuning into the Greylock Tapes, there was a lot of themes at play, just to remind you. There's religious themes. There's themes about what is consciousness. How do we achieve understanding of what God is? But then there's also a lot of other things around like, wow, our thoughts are becoming real sentient creatures. And hey, we are being attacked by those thoughts as they become reality. There's a lot of spookiness going on. There's maybe curses that are hanging out down in tunnels underneath the earth, and we are making our thoughts become reality. It's a lot, and we're waiting for answers, and we're curious to see how they're all going to come together. I feel like that's a pretty accurate assessment of everything that we've recovered.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, pretty good.
In the meantime, though, Ash, how are you doing, Ash?
Oh, I'm quite all right.
Do you have any banter that may or may not be witty today?
Oh, you know what I wanted to talk to you about?
What did you want to talk to me about, Ash?
You said you got a mushroom friend.
Yes, I did get a mushroom friend.
And can you please tell me about him?
Should I go get him?
Please?
Hold the phone. I will go retrieve him.
Ah! He's so cute.
His name is Fun Guy.
He's fun guy.
Because Ollie names everyone Guy.
That's so true.
Piney Guy, Happy Guy, so this is Fun Guy.
Oh.
I got him at a cave in France. It was a mushroom museum. So the first chunk of the mushroom museum are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of little mushroom specimens, all encased in resin. So they're all on display, sorted by the type of mushroom they are. And it is wild.
Oh my gosh.
Wild. And then the back half of the mushroom museum is taking you through how mushrooms grow. You can grow your own mushrooms. There's a little stand for the kids where you can compost yourself and start your little mushroom farm.
Oh.
It is awesome. And then you're walking through these caves in the middle of nowhere almost. You're walking through these caves and they have big old bags of compost and stuff with holes cut in them so the mushrooms can spawn out. It literally looks like you are walking through The Last of Us, where you have these weird like multicolored like antler sort of things or tentacle things are stretching out of bags and out of the little like places that they've been planted. It is surreal, and you really get it's a bit unnerving, to be honest, to be surrounded by these unfettered mushrooms as they like grow out and reach towards you. Like, mushrooms are weird, man, and they come in all different shapes and sizes and colors and toxicities. One of the favorite things that Steph and I did was we would go around and read the level of toxicity of all of them. And as we walked around, it started as like, oh, this is edible versus this is not edible. And it went from like edible to not edible to like, this is very good edible to this is okay edible to this has no culinary value to this is toxic to this will literally kill you if it touches you. And it's a huge range. All by the humble little mushroom. And we had such a good time at the mushroom museum that Steph and I, on our way out, we were like, we have to get one of these little guys. We bought some of the mushroom samples that they had grown in the caves and cooked them up in our hotel room, actually, because we had bought like, we had gotten one of the suite rooms where there you have a little like kitchenette area, and we were able to make it ourselves. It was great.
Oh my gosh, I could cry right now. I like that his little arms are out, like he's ready to hug.
Oh, he's ready to hug.
I like that his little red looks like a little hat.
He's a fun guy who's ready to love.
He's like Paddington-esque in the way that his hat is covering his head.
Right.
He
looks, a little guy.
he looks so soft. And
Yeah, he's inspired by, obviously, the Amanita, which is one of the hallucinogenic mushrooms, or one of the toxic mushrooms that if you eat, it will cause you to have hallucinations.
He's dangerous.
He's a little dangerous, yeah, but this is obviously the Super Mario mushroom, which we've covered in past episodes of Game Theory, and they had them in all different colors. I almost got a brown one, but I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't turn down this little guy.
You're like the game guy.
This is the game guy. So that's a little fun guy right there.
Oh, he's so cute. That reminds me, actually, because you've shown me now your fun little mushroom friend.
Yes.
I feel like I have to show you my fun little cow-cat-esque friend.
Okay, cow cat. Okay.
Yeah, he's cow-cat, but also kind of Furby.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Mushroom is much more easily understandable on the tin.
No, 100%. And some would argue that fun guy might be a whole lot cuter than the little guy that I have in my mind.
This little guy sounds pretty adorable.
He is so special to me.
Yeah, what's his name?
Have you heard about Pee-Pee?
For legal reasons, I don't know if I should be answering that to an employee.
No, not like P-E-E-P, like a peep.
Peep.
Well, with the Y at the end.
Oh, Peepay. Pee-pee. Have I heard of it? No, I can't say that I've heard of Pee-pee.
No, so Pee-pee is really important. He's actually kind of an internet phenomena.
Wait, really? Are you kidding me right now?
Yes.
Okay.
He'll get advertised to you in the middle of the night when you're watching YouTube.
Are you sure you haven't been hanging out with a couple of hallucinogenic mushrooms in the middle of the night?
Look, I've been around a lot of fun guys, but this is real.
Okay.
I know it for certain.
Yeah, you're okay hanging out with Pee-pee?
Oh, I hang out with Pee-pee so much. He stands on my little TV stand. So, like the tiny little table. So when I walk in to my house, Pee-pee's always looking at me.
Wow. I did not think that you had so much association with Pee-pee.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so,
No,
right?
this comes as a surprise to me.
Yeah, it shocks everyone, but it's actually very important to have a Pee-pee in your life. So I'll have to show you a little bit about.
Will you show me your Pee-pee?
I will show you my Pee-pee. I'd be happy to.
Will that be a future episode of the show?
Perhaps it will. Okay. Leave a comment if you want me to show my Pee-pee to Matt, and we'll make sure it happens.
Okay, great. Yeah, please. With that witty banter out of the way, let's get into scary, spooky, analog horror-y stuff with Greylock. So last time we saw the decline of Paul, our dear construction worker friend, who, to his own self-detriment, hung out with the crew a little bit too long and suffered the consequences. But apparently here, we start in tape number 7, we are back to normal. So fingers crossed that humanity has been able to survive. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Without any further ado, let's get back to normal.
Authorities.
Oh, and Don Wright is here already to kick things off. Talking about your pee-pee, Ash. All right. Great. Don Wright, let's see, who's apparently part of the Illuminati News Network. Like, I recognize that this is kind of CBS with the eye. Like, CBS has the eyeball as its logo. But when you put it in a pyramid, it takes on a whole different meaning. Just saying.
Authorities continue to investigate the recent crime wave that swept across northern Berkshire County.
Okay, this is talking about the
residents
home
in a
invasions.
state of anxiety and panic. It was 2 weeks ago when the emergency broadcast system was engaged to warn residents to secure their homes due to the activity of a group of individuals who had been targeting and breaking into people's homes.
Okay, so we're rewinding back to, what was it, episode, what was it? It was 4. So, okay, so we're flashing back in time a little bit to get a little bit more context of what's going on here, so that's exciting.
It was 2 weeks ago when the emergency broadcast system was engaged to warn residents to secure their homes due to the activity of a
But it was like 48 or 49 homes had gotten broken into.
Breaking into people's homes. Authorities have since confirmed that the attacks were, in fact, part of an organized criminal effort and have been attributed to a local anti-American militia group operating out of western Massachusetts.
Huh? What a twist! Didn't see that one coming.
This episode's full of surprises, isn't it?
It's coming at you hard and fast.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, regret that one too. In an episode where we've talked heavily of peepees.
Yeah.
Just not great. Not great in a lot of ways.
No.
Also not great. Home invasions by, small independent organized militias that apparently are also made by reptilian people. I don't know. We'll see.
Call.
Okay, we don't get a name. They were going to give us the name.
Out of Western Massachusetts. Call.
Would have loved to have heard what they were called. That would have been nice to have given them a name.
Police have made numerous arrests in connection to militia, and officials continue to release statements to assure the public that they are safe once again.
That's nice.
We've seen a lot of credible information over the past couple of weeks, and the investigation's still ongoing. We'll get closer.
Really, the video quality of this local news network, it leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of interference
Right,
issues.
they really need to tie it all together, guys. Like, really letting down the side here.
Thankfully, due to the continued efforts of law enforcement, life has been able to return back to normal. Back to normal. Back to normal.
Oh, wait, hold on. Was there a face there?
Has been able to return back to normal. Back to normal. Back to normal.
No, that was just his face glitching down, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
To normal.
Something tells me this upload's telling me that it's not all that normal. Thank you.
Back to normal for residents of Berkshire County.
Liar.
Back to normal for residents of Berkshire County.
Okay, hold
Whoa,
up.
whoa.
We got, yeah. Oh wow, we got a lot of stuff. Okay. So first off, photo caption: engaged couple Alex Marsh and Tiffany Criseldi sit together as they discuss the loss of their unborn son.
This is the woman that we saw.
So she's 26 here? 26. But didn't she die 29?
That sounds...
Her obituary said 29, wasn't it? Okay, so for those of you who don't remember, in one of the previous episodes, which I'm pulling up right now as we speak, it was number 5 here. The woman is getting her ultrasound. Something happens, we're not exactly sure what, but there's a weird glitch in the matrix or whatever, and then all of a sudden the baby disappears. And the episode ended with this news article of her at 29. So she's sad, she's experiencing some big sad. And there's Tiffany Crisaldi. So yeah, this is a picture of her and the husband, right? And which makes sense. They're talking about the loss of their unborn son. Here, this is also happening. So she dies at 29 in this obituary, but here she's 26. So the loss of her unborn son happened 3 years prior to, because one of the things I posited, right? One of the things I said is like, hey, in the aftermath of her losing her child, she, may have done something catastrophic to herself in some way, which has led to this article, this obituary in the paper. But it seems like that's not actually the case here. It seems like there was a prolonged period of multiple years where this has happened. It happened long ago. On his shirt, it feels very specific as an image. I can't quite make out what it's supposed to be, but it feels intentional, almost like it was whited out and kind of added in post to make sure, like, oh, this is an important image. So we have Alex Marsh and Tiffany Crisaldi. Okay. Okay. Oh, and then there's and then there was this other thing. That's right. So what's this? These events are only the tip of the iceberg, says Jim Melgren, a former police officer who now works as a private investigator and hosts a radio show centered around government transparency and accountability. There are horrifying reports of people, healthy grown adults, becoming deformed, growing extra limbs, teeth growing out of their scalp, people developing severe mental conditions, or even sicknesses doctors have never seen before. Which goes into the crying child that we see earlier. The baby who appears to be a conjoined twin of some sort. So we have a conjoined baby. We have babies disappearing, But now, and this seems like it's continuing down the line of what Paul discovered down in the cave in the previous upload. Previous upload, Paul and his crew are digging down into a cave. They're like, oh man, now all of us are sick. There's some mysterious illness that's affecting all of us. We're sick. And then he ends up like dying and his skin getting super tight and his eyes bulging out, right? So again, we have this odd, it almost feels like an anthology series, but it's not portrayed that way, right? This is all part of the same story, but in much the same way that like American Horror Story mixed together like 6 or 7 different weird horror tales into the same universe. It feels like Greylock is doing something similar, where you have a story of a sickness, you have a story of a rampaging militia, you have a story of tulpas coming to life, you have a story of disappearing babies for some reason. The babies, they keep disappearing. And they all exist in the same universe, but might not necessarily be all connected to each other. In much the same way, like I said, in American Horror Story. Did you ever watch American Horror Story, Ash?
Yeah, man.
Did you?
I did.
How many seasons?
I watched, I watched the Murder House.
Yep.
Coven.
Nice.
A little bit of the, oh gosh.
Did you watch 2?
The Asylum one?
Yeah, Asylum's 2.
That was my favorite.
That seems to be generally believed to be like everyone's favorite. It's also probably like one of the darkest and scariest of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Asylum is probably the best case scenario of it. But like in Asylum, for instance, right, you have everything from like World War II scientists who are doing experiments on people to a Santa Claus themed serial killer to demon possession of like the nuns at the local asylum. And that's just 3 of, I think, like 5 to 7 other like plot lines that exist out there. Like, it is a lot, and it's all mashed together into this one world, which is cool because you never see something like that before. Like, we're so used to narratives being one story, one plot, one villain, and there's an arc to it, that to see all these influences and narratives smashed together, almost like Super Smash Brothers style, where you're seeing these worlds collide and bounce off of each other. It's really interesting and really compelling, which is one of the reasons why I think that show is simultaneously interesting, but also tends to get really messy if it's not a good season of it. And Greylock seems like it's doing the same thing here, unless some of they're connected in a way that I'm not seeing. But anyway, as we see at the end of this, he is lying to us. So things are not normal in the state of Berkshire County, is what we've learned here. I am skeptical of those crimes being done by like an organized militia. That seems weird to me. Doesn't that feel weird?
Yeah.
Like why would that be a thing?
They see the houses and they're like, you know what I want to do? Go inside.
Oh, now that you explain it that way, it makes so much more sense,
right?
Ash. Yeah,
right?
It does.
It's like, you know when your cat is meowing at a closed door?
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to be on the other side of this door.
Yeah.
The militia works in the same way.
Yeah, except instead of meowing, they're opening up your windows.
Exactly.
And busting in.
Exactly.
Great. Excellent. Well, that was back to normal, which doesn't seem all that normal, which segues nicely into tape number 8, Old Odd Ends, which, hey, if we're talking about odd ends, it'd be pretty great. We got a lot of odd ends, or loose ends at least, kicking around right now. So I'd love to hear more about that.
Oh, yeah.
So a direct continuation of where we left off, apparently. Nothing in the description. Oh, they're experiencing some technical difficulties on channel 13.
That broadcast went completely tits up, didn't it? I've been getting chewed out by our asshole CIA liaison for the past 2 hours. What the fuck happened?
Whoa, he is using adult language there.
Man.
He's using angry adult language.
Wow.
We're not allowed to use that word.
No words.
No, that's a no word. I'm going to rewind. So this is the executive of the station. So it seems like we're led to believe that what we were seeing of that news report was similar to the Max Headroom incident that we called out in episode 2, where Max Headroom hacked into the system, or people in the masks hacked into the network and were able to broadcast their message. It seems like same thing's happening here, where someone has hacked into the news broadcast and portrayed him as a liar. So that isn't just like glitchy effects to be scary. That's literally what happened.
Liaison for the past 2 hours. What the fuck happened?
We're looking into it, sir, but we experienced no issues with the broadcast on our end, so our engineers believe that the signal was hijacked before even reaching the transmitter, but Once we started receiving phone calls from viewers, we switched to a backup transmitter.
But by then, the hijacker had already said everything they wanted to say, hadn't they?
Yes, sir.
What?
Did the hijacker just kind of called him Lair and showed off the disappearing people, I guess, so.
It's a complete fuck up. They made us look like a fucking joke. And showing our most popular show. Speaking of which...
It was great for sweeps. Honestly, it was great for ratings.
Oh, yeah.
People loved that. Local news, meh. Local news with hacked-in messaging, huge win.
Yeah, that's going to pull people in.
That's that. You can sell advertising dollars against that.
No, it's very true.
Especially in a day and age when traditional media, linear television, struggling, creating your own little controversy. Just saying, big win.
Exactly. Even outside the realm of traditional media and such, the local news can be such a Debbie Downer.
Right?
You know?
Alex Rosenbaum, don't be sleeping on what those hackers did to you.
Right. You got to open your mind a little bit, man.
There's content opportunities there.
Exactly.
Take advantage.
Where the fuck is he? I cannot get hold of him, and he needs to get in here and read a statement to help clean up this fucking mess.
Wow. Using a lot of adult language. This is not okay, Alan Rosenbaum. That is not how you get respect. You got to give respect to get respect. And that is not respectful words. Just saying.
We're trying to reach him. We've called him multiple times.
Liam Hollander.
We've asked around to see if anyone's heard from him, but nothing. Right now we've got Gerald standing in for him tonight. It's on to some show.
Oh, not Gerald.
That guy.
Gerald is so second string. He's no Don Wright.
No, certainly not.
Don Wright tonight, his name even rhymes with the word tonight. Like, it is that man is perfectly designed to be television greatness.
Right?
Gerald?
Gerald on Harold? Absolutely not.
No, Gerald on Harold, certainly not.
No.
No one cares. What is he, a troubadour? Let's talk about the nude. No. Gerald tonight? No. Get out of here. How about Gerald Never? That's what I'm talking about.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Like he's a second stringer for a reason.
Wow.
Have you been to his house?
Well, no. I just thought that maybe he'd be upset if I did that.
Get in your fucking car and go to his fucking house. I don't care if you kick down his front door and drag him here by his ear. You bring him into the studio. Do you understand?
Yes, Mr. Rosenbaum. Of course.
Rosenbaum.
There's some real...
But Rosenbaum. Baum.
What's
What's his last name? Sheila, I forget.
The syllable.
I like that the executive, the evil executive or the angry executive of this local station in Massachusetts is British.
Right?
just thought I'd call that out as a fun little oddity. Like, it's a local station in Massachusetts, but no, British. Like, everyone's got that William Afton syndrome of, like, if you're gonna be an evil antagonist in some sort of, like, indie horror project, always the Brits.
Right?
Don't be trusting them.
No, it's like this, almost this convention of maybe they start in the U.S. and then they go to Britain, they get together and they were like, guys, we gotta be evil. Give us the accent.
It's true.
And then they come back with the accent and evil.
It's a requirement, actually.
Right?
Yeah, just like people take performance classes, public speaking, improv classes, things like that.
Yeah.
If you want to be a villain, part of your training is confirmed to be speech lessons specifically on the British accent.
Yeah, so you might have actually seen an uptick in British retreats recently.
Yeah.
That's actually for villains.
Yeah, villains all over the place. That's the Minions movie briefly addresses villain conventions. Other subset of it.
Yeah.
Certainly. That's why you can't trust Tom.
Thank
on game
you.
theory. Yeah, you don't trust Tom.
Yeah.
He's probably got some villainous plan up his sleeve.
Had to be said.
It had to be said. Sorry, Tom. Sorry to expose you that way. I gotta make sure the audience is protected.
Yeah, shouldn't have gone to that convention.
Yeah, him and Alan Rosenbaum cut from the same cloth. And that cloth is red, white, and blue, but not stars and stripes style, bars and crosses style, Union Jack style.
I like the hand gestures of it, though.
Union Jack. That's accurate, right? You know what I'm going for. You know what I'm doing. Union Jack.
I know what you're doing.
Union Jack.
I just like the way you went about it.
There it is. Boom. Not every flag can have a hand sign,
Right.
Boom. It's you gotta do downline cross.
I don't know. I feel like
I guess I'm missing the other cross.
The other cross.
There's one too many cross.
It's also
there it is.
the thicker cross. So I feel like it's more applicable if like those are your arms, right? So if you're going to
Yeah.
be slashing anything, it should be the diagonals. But I kind of like the going up and down and then rotating it a bit.
Right, this?
Yeah.
You like the rotate?
Yeah.
This is the new hand sign. All you folks from the UK, make this a reality. The US doesn't get its own hand sign. How are you doing a US flag hand sign?
I know exactly how to do it.
Do you?
You take your right hand and you put it
Sorry,
across
right
thy chest.
Did you say thigh chest?
Yes.
Bar. That's what it is.
You do it 50 times and then you
Do the 50 doot. Bar, and then 13 bars. It's a little dance. Next time you go to the school prom or whatever, do your flag dances. Bar. There it is.
There's powerful people depending on us right now.
Powerful people are depending on them. This local news station.
Let the public know what's going on, and the last thing we need is it going wider than it already fucking has. So do what you need to do, or I'm going to replace you with some producers who actually know how to produce a fucking show.
Sorry, the file you are trying to access has been destroyed and can no longer be executed or retrieved. Please choose another file.
Really?
Sorry.
Oh, that's unpleasant. Someone's using the blender. Someone forgot that you can't use the blender next to the microphone.
The NutriBullet.
The NutriBullet. They needed that smoothie now.
Anomalous file detected. This file should not exist. Are you sure
And
you
yet it
wish to
does.
proceed?
Yes.
Opening
File. Arnold.
So is the framing? This is interesting, right? Because is the framing device of this whole series that we are? I guess they are all labeled as tapes, right? Tape 1, tape 2, tape 3, and so maybe the framing device, like the framing device of all this, is us at the very beginning of the series. In here.
80% complete. Data extraction complete.
Right, we were extracting data.
All data extracted to error. No.
So all data is so we're extracting data from this place, Cyberdyne. It's not Cyberdyne, but we're extracting data from this place. So now is it us watching back that data that we got? And I guess I hadn't really thought about that, but it does seem like that explains why everything is glitchy. That explains why everything is kind of filtered in some way. So I wonder if that's what this is. But it seems like they're starting to tell us, like, oh, there is a reason why the tapes look the way they do and why you're only able to access some of them.
Reverse personal log.
Final.
My name is Ron Eugene Rivers. The date is April 8th, 1987.
Okay, and he was born in 51. Okay, so he is 36. Okay.
About 9:15 at night. I was involved in the Morelli construction project around Greylock. I was hired due to my background in anthropology and archaeology.
Hold up! This guy knows his stones!
Oh my gosh.
Stone expert right here. He's speaking to us about that last upload.
I've worked to excavate a number of different historical sites.
Right? Was his name Arnold? I guess it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we had Paul.
We had Paul, and then they were like, oh, we brought in this guy who got sick.
9.
This was before all this.
I believe it. We saw it again.
Saw it again.
Something. You guys gotta put up those fancy hunting cameras and see behind the store. The wood is rotten.
Food is rotten.
About. I saw that thing that got worse, more sick.
More sick.
I feel okay. So,
You could check the transcript and like Control F for Arnold.
Yeah, that's what we should do, huh? Good thought. Okay.
Broop.
March. Archaeology. Down there, Frank. Well, I never stole him, but we got a guy on the crew. We used to do archaeology work. Okay. Didn't they bring him? They brought him in. Shoot, I forget what it is now. That's okay. I'm assuming this is the same guy, though. So one of the guys they brought in to examine this construction site, he got sick and was eliminated. He was removed from it before it got really bad.
Paul Morelli took me on after securing a government contract for the Greylock project. I'm recording this because I believe my life is in danger.
Oh.
And I likely don't have a lot of time left. So I need to leave some kind of record of my findings.
Oh, man.
On March 24th, our crew came across tunnels in the mountain that held a multitude of ancient markings and artifacts.
And stones. And don't forget the stones. Man-made stones. Important. Also important to note, on a more serious note, also important to note that it's a mountain. So again, the episode 2 of this, tape 2, was To the Mountain. And the mountain had this mysterious property or had this time-bending power or whatever, right? And so everything seems like it keeps... So now we're seeing how it's all coming together, right? We keep going back to this mountain over and over again.
On March 25th, Paul cleared the interior of the mountain and asked me, accompanied by a small crew, to look through the tunnels and record notes on what I was able to recognize.
Okay.
I was then to report to one of the project directors, named Frank Porter, to offer my perspective on our findings.
Yeah.
I kept this to myself at the time, but what we discovered in that mountain was not normal.
Okay.
Not only did I see the impact it was having on the crew, but certain aspects of my findings did not make any sense.
Okay.
Many of the artifacts were pre-colonial.
They were ancient art. In fact, they were ancient. I was told that Paul told us repeatedly, ancient artifacts.
Yeah.
Ancient man-made
Some
artifacts
were
and
from
stones.
Native American tribes, but there were other artifacts.
The aliens.
Some Mesoamerican and others were shockingly Clovis in nature.
Clovis, I've heard of that. What is Clovis? I don't remember. Clovis culture. The Clovis culture is an archaeological culture. Okay, Clovis from the Paleo-Indian period of North America. So this is before Indian, Native American, Indigenous American, spanning around 13,000 to 12,750 years before present. So super, super ancient. Tens of thousands of years old. Okay, so that's Clovis. They were thought to have been highly mobile groups of hunter-gatherers, generally agreed that they were reliant on hunting big game, like megafauna, and were particularly associated with mammoth, mastodon, and bison. But they also consume smaller animals and plants. Okay, Clovis hunters. So that's good to know. So this is super old stuff.
Finding Clovis artifacts here means that people have been coming to Mount Greylock since at least 11,000 BCE. But
Okay.
that's not all, no.
So it's Greylock Mountain. Did we know that it was Greylock Mountain? Is this the first time we're hearing that it's Greylock Mountain specifically?
I think this is the first time it's been described in the content, but
Yeah.
I have seen comments of people saying that Greylock is the name of a mountain.
Okay, because I've been trying to avoid the comments, so that's good to know. So, okay, so Greylock Tapes and the Greylock incident is all around this mountain, so it makes sense. To the mountain, Greylock.
There are artifacts I found that could potentially be from even earlier Paleo-American cultures that we have yet to even begin studying. Then there were artifacts and writings left by the cultures that were pre-Columbian in nature. Transoceanic contacts prior to Columbus reaching the Americas has always been largely a theory, but the
A historical theory. Thanks for pontificating. Again, legally obligated to say that anytime the word theory is dropped.
they prove it. Ancient Chinese, Arabic, Indian, Roman, Spanish, Viking, even ancient Greek and Egyptian. I'm finding that they alone would change world history as we know it today. I'll admit, the anthropologist in me was thrilled. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
So basically all these cultures have come together into this one place in this one time, basically, to in this one mountain somehow, right? So it's showing that everyone is kind of united in some way, or all of humanity is sharing in some collective origin here around this one mountain. It's pretty exciting. I too would be pretty excited about that.
I figured it had to be a hoax, but I'm confident that it's all authentic. But my excitement was soon replaced with a looming fear and anxiety. How could such a place be so important to so many cultures for so long? There must be something immense here. Whatever it was, well, that's why I left the project.
That's why you
The
left?
tunnels all connected.
That's why you left, man? Like, come on. He's like, man, I have discovered the missing link between all cultures of humanity. This is crazy. I'm good.
And for those reasons, I'm out.
Yeah, this is gonna be huge. I'm outie, thanks. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
We're all right. You know, no. Where's your intellectual curiosity, man? What are you doing with yourself?
To a series of chambers deep into the interior of the mountain. That's where a majority of the relics were found. There were old baskets of herbs and spices.
Oh man, Colonel Sanders has been here. Herbs and spices. 13 of them, in fact.
Items.
Stones.
Countless other things.
Stones.
But all of it was there purposely as offerings.
They're all there as offerings.
Offerings.
Cosmic Mysteries. Excellent. GBS News. Don Wright tonight. Love that guy. Night hiking, Mount Greylock. Wait, what do we got? 10 p.m. night hiking, episode 13, Mount Greylock, Deep States, episode 733. That's a lot of episodes for the series Deep States. Just a lot of episodes.
It was billions of years ago, when our planet was still mostly fire and rock, that a Mars-sized planet that had been drifting through our solar system collided directly with the Earth. The impact was so powerful and violent that the rogue planet was blown into countless pieces of debris. This debris collected to form our moon. Many of the pieces of the unknown planet remain inside the Earth to this day.
Huh, that's interesting. So now we're getting to some cosmic stuff here, which again is another layer added into this. Not sure if it's important, but it seems very specific that they're pointing out, like, at one point there was another planet that just crashed in here. So we're the fusion of multiple planets. Hello, who is it?
Adams Police Department, Dispatcher Carey speaking.
Yes, I'm calling to report a break-in at my coworker's house.
Militia's at it again.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Liam Hollander.
Okay, Liam, you said this was your coworker's house. What is your coworker's address?
It's Parker Hill Road in Adams, number 491.
491 Parker Hill Road, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me, is anybody hurt?
Don't you dare say
Liam,
that Don Wright is
still with me?
hurt.
Sorry.
Is anybody hurt?
Don't you tell me that Don Wright... No? Not Don Wright! Oh. Don Wright looks like he might be hurt.
Yeah.
Don Wright might be down for the count. That man was the national treasure. It's weird that here's one of the questions I have about the way this story is being told, or what this clue and what this lore bit is meant to tell me, is we're told that it was hackers who busted into the system to hijack the signal and send their message, right? And they showed an image of him looking like this. So has Don Wright always looked like this? Is this how he was murdered? How did they get a picture and hijack the system of him on the news looking exactly the same way that they made him look?
I mean, do we have confirmation that the news was live?
That's a fair point. It might not have been live.
Because if it was pre-recorded and broadcast, and then the militia came in, broke in, killed him, got a picture.
Yeah. And put him as liar. That could be. That's a good point. Good call out. Well, Don Wright ain't coming back tonight, looks like.
Constructed out of the mountain stone, along with evidence of mass animal and human sacrifice.
As you do.
And the carvings in the walls of these sacrificial chambers, I couldn't recognize a single familiar symbol.
No? Could you not? I feel like this is like kind of humanoid.
Yeah, there's like shoulders and legs.
A little head. This looks like a little pyramid sort of thing. Spiral. Snail, maybe. Teardrop. It's not that foreign. Just saying, Mr. Archaeology. Not to doubt you, but you're the guy who also pieced out as soon as you found this place. So maybe if you tried a little bit harder.
It made me sick to even look at them.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
Let me be clear.
Gross.
I'm not, nor have I ever been, a religious man.
Oh, here comes the religion.
There's something in that mountain. Something people of countless cultures over the history of our planet have been worshipping, but I don't know why.
Huh.
But I could feel it.
Ooh, I wonder what it
Whatever's
is.
down there, I could feel it. It was like being trapped in a fever dream. I swear I could hear a voice, and even felt compelled to go further, to speak to whatever's down there.
So this is paralleling what Paul, our construction worker, said at the end of the last one, where he's like, I feel like I have to go down there. I feel it calling to me. Like, he also felt compelled to enter in and associate with whatever was down in the depths of the mountain. So this is really interesting.
I don't know. I haven't been right since I keep hearing this
It's Cthulhu.
in my head.
Classic Cthulhu.
All day and night. I can't sleep.
The bird box monster. Remember that one? That was hot for literally a minute.
But that doesn't matter right now. I informed Mr. Porter in my report that the archaeological findings in the mountain are of monumental historical importance, and that there is certainly more to be discovered. And I recommended discontinuing construction there. But it's not as though I have any authority over this project. I fully expected to be ignored. Mr. Porter called me on the evening of March 28th, and we spoke on the phone briefly.
No.
It was as I thought. He disregarded my concerns.
Of course he did.
I informed him that I wasn't going to return to the site. He insisted I did, said I was a valuable asset to the project, even offered me a substantial raise, and wanted me to lead a specifically organized team that would clear the tunnels of artifacts before excavation would continue.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dates mixed with that response really make me think, you know?
How so? How does it make you think, Ash?
So March 28th, when we were looking at the voice messages left by Paul, I believe the 28th, or up until the 20th, 29th, that was when Paul was really about to go in to the mountain, go to the thing that was calling him. He's feeling wrong. His teeth are vibrating. So the fact that Frank was talking to Arnold, our guy, but was kind of leaving Paul in the voice message mailbox.
Yeah.
It implies that, Paul was kind of always doomed. Like, his calling back and his asking for help.
Oh yeah, Paul was a done deal.
Yeah, it was mostly for observation of what would happen to him. It feels like because he never got an answer, but the archaeologist did. Yeah. So that's really, really interesting.
Paul was left on red.
He was left on red, left unlistened.
Left unlistened, yeah.
Left unheard.
Listened and promptly ignored. Arnold is on hit list. This guy knows too much. So the question I have is, do people know when they started to dig into this mountain? And here's the question I'm left with. When they started to dig into this mountain, when this construction project started, did they know that this altar existed down here? And are all these people intentionally being if this is a sacrificial area for whatever entity exists in the mountain, whatever power exists down here, Cthulhu-esque creature, monolithic, whatever, are these people just being modern-day sacrifices on the altar of Greylock Mountain?
It would imply that, wouldn't it?
Seems like it. It seems like the powers that be know what's down there, are intentionally sending people down there and keeping them down there. And I don't necessarily think it's for financial gain or financial interest. It feels like it's more just like, hey, got to keep whatever is under there at bay. We'll see.
I, quote unquote, could be responsible for the biggest historical finding of all time, he said. I refuse again. I won't put a price on my sanity or my health.
Look at this guy. Good for him.
Very good.
After seeing what was happening to the crew.
Good for you, Arnold.
Now loading. Morale Greylock event, Group C, Survivor data. Profile for patient B3590. Rockford, Thomas.
Man, look at that handsome.
Looks like a cool guy.
I was gonna say, look at that handsome man. that is a headshot of an actor who's struggling in LA if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, really.
He's like, hey, I'm ready for my soap opera premiere.
Oh man.
Malformations.
Oh, struggling.
Mods. Communicative. Patient prone to spontaneous violent outbursts. Treatment of heavy sedation recommended. Only communicate while patient is restrained or via intercom. Now loading. Profile for patient.
Feels better.
B9231. Washington, Samuel. Malformations.
Oh, yeah.
Notes.
A few malformations.
Patient suffers from constant state of severe paranoia and delusions, resulting in unpredictable violent outbursts. Standard treatment ineffective. High-dose xylazine is recommended. Only communicate while patient is restrained or via intercom.
High doses... What was it? Xylazine?
Standard treatment ineffective. High-dose xylazine is recommended.
Xylazine. I don't know if that's a real thing. Xylazine. What is xylazine? Also called a trank.
Oh.
Tranquilizer. Non-opioid sedative or trank. Okay, so it's a tranquilizer. So it's meant to calm him down. That's good to know.
Ended. Only communicate while patient is restrained or via
Okay, so he's angry. He's an angry guy. As evidenced by him shouting at the camera.
B6670. Herrera, Ramon. Malformations.
Oh.
Notes. Uncommunicative.
A little bit.
Patient appears to be in catatonic state. Warning, patient may sit up very suddenly, without provocation, to projectile vomit at any staffing area.
Ooh, projectile vomiting.
Ooh.
Exorcist style.
Fun.
Oh, very exciting. The most exciting.
Patient's vomit is extremely corrosive and emits nerve gas.
Ooh. It emits nerve gas? And its spit is that's like worse than the xenomorphs from Alien.
Oh, man.
He's spitting out corrosive acid out of his mouth?
Beats out those 3 special dots now, doesn't it?
That's legit. It does.
Yeah.
Very severely beats out those 3. So he's feeling that 3 special dot all the time.
In a different way.
In a very different way. In a very, very strong way. That's interesting. So it's more, it is transforming them in some way. I also like that, again, I compared it to the smile tapes. Like, this feels very smile tapey. This just in general feels very smile tapey.
Yeah.
All treatments ineffective. Studies must be conducted with full anti-corrosive gear and air purifying respirator equipped on all staff involved.
Sure, that's fair.
Profile for patient.
Yeah, I don't want to corrode from the vomit.
Fleming, Charles.
It's like, hey, taking a picture of me? Don't be taking a picture of me. Charles, how are you doing?
Malformations. Notes. Uncommunicative.
He actually looks happier in this one, honestly.
A little bit.
Charles looks a little bit happier in this one. Smiling, showing some teeth.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Glad
in his own special way. Hey.
Patient will attack on sight. Do not interact. Immunity to pain. Patient exhibits cannibalistic tendencies.
Oh, cannibalism and immunity to pain.
Active. Immediate euthanasia recommended.
Oh, geez, they're finishing him off. Okay.
B4041. Oakhurst, Scott.
What's happening to you, Scott?
Malformations.
Oh!
Notes.
Everyone's getting some big teeth. Big old honker teeth.
Yeah.
Right there. Those teeth are growing like rabbits. That in and of itself, I think, is a really interesting side effect to this. Is it's one thing to be like, I got teeth, but it's another thing to, like, for the teeth to, like, grow to a state that you have to, like, saw them back down or whatever. He also is exhibiting kind of what Paul mentioned in his tape, which was tight skin, bulging eyes.
Communicative. Communicate with caution.
Okay.
Warning, patient actively pretends to be benevolent and friendly.
Oh.
Strong homicidal and cannibalistic tendencies. Killed and partially consumed 6 staff members on April 6, 87.
Wow.
Whoa.
Patient laughed hysterically during the attack.
I mean, he was just a hungry man. You know.
All treatments ineffective. Immediate euthanasia or permanent restraint for further study recommended. Now loading. Profile for patient. B7992. Kowalski, Edward.
It's like a thin Bryan Cranston.
Malformations.
He is the one who knocks.
Notes. Communicative. Hazardous. Warning, patient possesses inhuman power of suggestion and influence over others.
Wow. The amount of powers that these guys are getting from this experience are crazy. Just throwing it out there. And also all over the map. From, hey, I grew a long teeth and now I'm cannibalistic, to I'm spitting up acid that also delivers nerve gas. That's wild. To I have the ability to manipulate your brain through my persuasive words. It's wild what they've walked out of that tunnel with. The amount of talent that they have. It's like a like a horrific version of the Power Rangers that we're seeing right here. Nate, Captain Planet, the Planeteers. This is the Planeteers. Corrosive spit. Persuasive. I'll eat ya. When our powers combine, we summon whatever entity lives under the mountain.
Do not interact. All treatments are effective. Immediate euthanasia recommended. Now loading. Profile
I feel
for
like,
patient.
you know, I feel like instead of finishing this guy off, you can use him to your benefit, right? Make sure you have earplugs in, but like you can do something like, hey, call all those like do not call lists or whatever. When people start calling you about like political ads or whatever, just get this guy on the phone. Leave me alone, and they do. It's great. Yeah. Huge benefit to humanity.
Could be a win.
You know, put him in front of like a political debate, and he's like, "You must tell the truth," and then everyone has to tell the truth. Some untapped in benefits of patient whatever 2988, whatever his name was.
B1584. Rafferty, John. Malformations. Notes. Uncommunicative. Hazardous. Patient appears to be deceased. No vital signs.
He appears to be dead. Can't confirm that. We suspect he might be dead. Just appears that way. Calling it like we sees it.
Patient's body not decomposing. Warning, staff have become ill after even brief time spent in patient's room. Illness disregards protective suiting. Immediate quarantine required for all victims.
Wow.
Mortality rate post-exposure currently 92%.
Ooh, that's high.
Survivors subject to rapid physical and mental malformations. All treatments ineffective.
Well.
Immediate remote euthanasia recommended.
Remote. That's interesting.
I consider myself incredibly lucky to not be in that condition right now.
Yeah,
man.
Oddly,
seriously, right? The fact that he got out of that clean, pretty wild. Something's gonna happen to this guy. Clearly.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, was he spared because he didn't stay in there for very long, or because he was in there, he had a recognition about something different about that space, and recognized some kind of importance within it. He was spared from some sort of infection or partial possession
because he recognized the power of the room or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. It is really interesting. I'm curious.
He quickly accepted my second refusal. Wished me luck in my future endeavors, but before I could say anything else,
oh yeah, that guy's gonna try to off you.
Yeah.
You're on the hit list now. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're good.
Something awful happened up at Mount Greylock, and then simultaneously, there are all of these things that have been happening around the mountain. The home invasions, the dead bodies that fell from the sky over Cheshire.
What? Excuse me? Haven't heard about that one yet. Spoiler alert. I guess that one's coming, huh?
Yeah, dead bodies falling.
They do be falling.
It's raining men was actually a different flavor of men that I realized.
Yeah, let the bodies hit the floor and the roofs and the chimneys, treetops, etc.
These songs are all going on the Greylock playlist, available now on Spotify.
Yeah, it's my Spotify playlist, the Greylock hits. It's raining men. Let the bodies hit the floor. There's probably others. Let us know down in the comments below.
Baby, are you down, 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 down?
Work Umbrella, Ella in there somewhere.
Perfect.
The pregnancy phenomena. So many.
The pregnancy phenomenon. Okay, so people are aware of that.
They all must be related.
Yeah, I'm asking myself the same thing.
To figure out how. I've connected with a local.
Arnold and I understand each other. He's like, I've been asking myself. That has been me for the last 2 uploads, Arnold. You and me both, buddy.
Local investigator who's been trying to get to the bottom of this. I've shared with him everything I have, though I feel that I've been being watched. I feel a looming threat that I can't really explain. Would the government really send someone to kill me over this?
Yes.
I feel like I'm paranoid.
Yes.
Like I've lost some of my mind.
Only some of his mind, just a small portion.
I was at the grocery store the other day, and my front door was unlocked.
Ooh.
And I know I had locked it before I left.
Hard out. No, absolutely not.
Brother, you gotta leave the state.
Yeah, you get out, go off grid, go to the Caymans. I don't know, one of those places where people can't find you. No extradition, just hide out, man.
Just drive.
I spent my entire
right, just drive. Don't tell anyone.
But found nothing out of the ordinary. I even checked and replaced all of the light bulbs.
Get out of there. It's not worth it.
Saying it out loud like this, it makes me realize how crazy I still
am.
No.
No, you're not crazy, man. When you exist in a world where the weird ritual site you visited had people like dropping dead. You have it raining dead bodies and pregnancies are disappearing. You are not the crazy one. If you're like, whoa, I'm replacing my light bulbs because I think something might be after me. That's actually a very rational thing to be feeling in this moment. Very rational. Please get out of there.
I've always been a rational man.
You continue to be.
Explanation behind everything.
You continue to be logical and rational. Get up and out of there. Go.
I'm glad that I put all of this into a recording. Perhaps that was what I needed to snap me out of this.
No.
Honestly, I feel much better just talking about it.
That's good.
This can't be.
This can't be.
Oh my God. That's the basement door. No.
Brother.
Where's the damn camcorder?
Don't record it, dude. Get out.
Brother, you gotta run.
No, Arnold. No.
Mr. Rivers.
Arnold, just go. Arnold.
They're here. I'm inside my bedroom closet. I'm going to keep the tape recorder running, and I'm hiding in here with my files. If something happens to me, and you find any tapes or files somehow, please bring it to the investigator, Jim Malcolm of North Adams. That goes for this video footage as well.
Oh, this guy. What is that? It's a very mechanical. Oh, Arnold. This is family? Are they just mimicking voices?
They must be.
I've heard there's been a lot of mimics in my life lately in the last year. Just saying. I trust no family voices.
Oh my God.
I hate this. The tension is so high. That's not music.
Oh my God.
Oh!
This is horrid.
What are these sounds? It's like these tweets and...
Come on out, it's the police.
Don't do it.
No.
Oh God! Jeez, I didn't expect it to be the mascot. Oh, Arnold. That's very Skinamarink at the end. Oh man.
God.
So okay. Oh shoot, hold up. Let's just quickly assess this ending. Oh man, they made you. Okay, so it is a mimic of some form, right? Was it able to mimic voices? It says it's the police, but clearly it's not. That ain't the police, unless the police got a whole new uniform. Oh, he's a big old face.
It's huge.
It's enormous. Look at this thing. What is this the entity? Is this the like god creature that's living in the mountain?
I was about to ask the same thing. Like, what other explanation is there for that?
It kind of feels like it has to be, right?
Yeah.
This is the thing that people are worshiping and fearing in the mountain because it is enormous. It is huge. And this is the thing that we've seen all across the board. That is terrifying. And then, okay, so he gets attacked by this weird entity who may or may not be able to mimic voices. It seems like it's mimicking human voices, and this does not seem to be human all that much. And then he gets crunched.
Oh,
so it eats humans. It's eating him very clearly. Oh, right there, right for the squanch. I just squelch. So what is that? So is that the kid? that was crying earlier?
You and I are on the same wavelength with these questions, man.
Yeah, right?
Like, because like what you said earlier, there's so many different threads that are being set up here.
Right.
And it's like the urge to try to tie them all together is... And then, did he just take the baby? Like,
and is it raising its own baby or like...
Baby God?
Right, baby God. Are you baby God? Are you baby Cthulhu?
Baby God?
Baby Cthulhu. Yeah, just crunched. It's a monster. So did it leave him alone? Like, so did it leave the rest of the family alone? Like it comes in, it scares the family.
Was there a point where we heard that this guy had a wife and kid? Because that voice changes, it shifts.
Right?
So that makes me think it's just more of that mimicking.
It might be all just it mimicked. Does he have a family? Right? I'm trying to think. Like, did it say that he had a family?
Because I don't recall that.
The reveal of Arnold saying Paul ordered the tunnels cleared and told them to go inside is wild, because Paul in tape 6 was genuinely confused as to why the cave was suddenly cleared and had lights strung up. Either Paul was infected from the start and was suffering cognitive failure, or something else masquerading as Paul had them open the tunnel, freeing whatever was within. That, I think, is a good call out. Because, yeah, there is that detail where Paul says, like, wow, the tunnels have lights in them. That's really strange. Once it had been cleared out. Either Paul was infected from the start. I don't think he was. And second, suffering, or something else masquerading. I feel like what we're seeing here is that something else masquerading as Paul has them opening the tunnel. Is it this mimic entity, or is this the mimic entity that escaped? Unsealed Wings had a blast playing Arnold Rivers, by the way. So don't worry, the man who played Arnold Rivers is not crunched.
And clap and a half to you, friend. Very, very incredible voice acting. Right. I am very sad that
I'm sorry you got
he
crunched.
Perished.
Yeah, rest in peace, Arnold.
R.I.P.
Rip. So at this point, we're getting things coming together, right? We're seeing some of the religious elements of it. We're seeing why it's a mountain, and this entity is housed in the mountain. We may even know that is the entity, right? That is not the size of a human. It is very strange, and it is out and wreaking havoc in this town. The tulpa thing feels, the tulpa thing and this like weird glitching of reality and hopping between reality, that seems to be the two threads that haven't tied in quite just yet, or the two threads that seem disconnected. The militia is somewhat connected, I guess, but yeah, it's slowly coming to, you're seeing it come together, which is exciting. At this point, so that was 17. Do we have time for a 12-minute or no?
We're getting a little tight on time.
I was gonna say it's tight, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm tempted because I want to keep going because it's really interesting. But at the same time, I recognize that each of these is almost like an episode to itself in a lot of ways.
Right.
And so maybe this is where we leave it. And this is where I leave it to you guys. And I'm like, hey, if you want us to continue this series, let us know down in the comments, and we will do so. I also encourage you to explore it for yourself. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw film theory about this at some point. But yeah, regardless, I'll hold off on watching it until you guys kind of let us know down in the comments below whether you want us to continue it on GTLive. I would be happy to. I think it's really interesting. I'm very curious about where it's headed, but I'm also curious if you guys are interested in this narrative journey with us, right? So I'll hold off, but if you're like, yeah, whatever, it's okay, then I'll just watch it myself. It'll be great, and I'll tell Lee, like, hey, go watch Greylock and let's work on a film theory. But very intrigued. And the fact that we're, 8 tapes into this, and I'm still like, ooh, I'm more invested now than I have been yet, and the mystery just continues to build. Super, super great across the board. Very excited about where this is headed, and very intrigued. It is a good level of scares and a good level of horror. It's the right amount of unsettling, and there's a lot of mystery that continues to slowly unravel itself. So let us know down in the comments. Let us know what you want, and also let us know if you want me to see Ash's pee-pee. So those are kind of the 2 questions that I have for you today. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we close off this episode of the Greylock Tapes and of GTLive, which, remember, isn't a live stream, but it is a video for you. See ya!